Never fall in love with your trick. Don't get tricked out your spot. And a lot of people, why do you do this, Keto? Why do you do this, Keto? You could give to charities, right? You could give to the homeless, which I do. I love the homeless people, love the houseless people. But I do this because what I realized is a lot of women and a lot of people in general don't have good mothers, don't have good fathers, don't have good mentors, don't have good educators, don't have good people in their lives that can guide them, right? And I took a lot of that for granted when I was younger. I thought everybody had a mom and a dad and people around them that cared about them. Until I got older and I was like, oh shit, you really had to figure out all this shit by yourself. And here I am. I'm here. You might not like my approach, but hopefully you understand the intent.
Never fall in love with your trick. Do not get tricked out your spot.
Hello, and thank you for watching and listening to another episode of the Podacity with Keto Rose.
I'm popping this shit in real life. They popping that shit for real. They not having shit going on. Why? That's why they can't get a deal. When you down,
Here we dare to use our voices, have the audacity to own who we are, and vow, raise up your roses, we vow to never stop, never shrink, and most importantly,
Shut up, it's just not gonna happen.
like, share, subscribe, talk shit in my comments. Tell me how you really feel. Hit that bell notification so I can pop up on your timeline and hype this video up if you can hype it. We have so much, it's so long. I'm so sorry. Put me on while washing the dishes, get your laundry done. Make sure you fold your laundry right after you get it out the dryer. Otherwise, you're gonna have piles of shit everywhere. You're gonna feel discombobulated. You're gonna feel disorganized. Just fold the clothes and listen to this shit, because if I had to hear about it, oh boy, so do you. What we have learned about Anton Daniels and Corey Holcomb has been against our will. I know. And I know a lot of you guys didn't like my last video on Corey and his nasty comments about little girls. I understand. But sometimes we just have got to deep dive. This whole new situation that's going on with Anton and Corey, don't worry, I'll break it down, just really exposed a lot of things to me, and so I think it's important to share. Number one, as a woman, who you attach yourself to is very important, not just because of the obvious reasons, right? Like, well, he's my husband, or we share bills, or we have kids together, he's gonna be making important decisions that have to do with my life, not just those reasons, but because whatever your husband does, you will be prosecuted for those sins, the sins of your husband. You absolutely will. Look at Beyonce and how she lost all those followers because we found out Jay-Z was in the files.
I know y'all are gonna trap. Listen, we'll just talk about this later because that's not the point.
I'm not saying she didn't know anything, but what I'm saying is, when did you see her on the flight logs? When did you see pictures of them together? When did you see pictures of Beyonce and Harvey Weinstein? You didn't. The point is that because Jay-Z is closely tied to Beyonce, whatever he does, we automatically assume she was with it or she knows. And that's exactly what's going on with the whole Anton Daniels and Rita situation. I'm going to break down a lot of things throughout this video, but one thing I really want to just hone in on, and let me know by the end of this video if you got the point. If you got the point, say message received.
Everything that I said before this and after this is alleged. None of this is true. Everything's made up. I'm A.I. This is a simulation. None of this is true. Nothing of this is true.
But we're going to break down this grifting. I mean, it's just really easy to, but I just, it's really, really important to, especially with this whole political climate that we're in, where black people are still being mistreated, where black people are still being shot in the middle of the streets, right? And nobody cares, where they're still trying to run this narrative that if black people do anything or become anything or are successful at all, it's because of DEI, right? Candace Owens is feeling that right now. They're calling her a DEI hire. And she's like, wait a minute, what? Is it because I'm black? I think a lot of people get manipulated because they think that things are supposed to happen directly. Like, if he didn't directly try to manipulate me or say this is manipulation, or he didn't put his hands on me, he's not harming me. But you really got to understand psychology. You really have to understand subtleties, right? You have to understand what somebody is saying beyond their words, right? What is the meaning of this? So let's just get into it. Anton Daniels has been all over the internet talking about hoes that he gets, talking about the fact that he flies women out, talking about the fact that he's that guy and he keeps a bad chick with him and all this stuff like that. And people are like, wait, aren't you married? Of course he is. Because his grift, his image is this, I'm a conservative Christian man with traditional Christian values, and you know that because I've been with this woman for 20 years. Now this woman, her name is Rita, by the way, now this woman is being dragged up and down the internet. Hold on, I wrote it down. You got people thinking that she's a side chick for real. You got people thinking that she's a bird, a weak woman, a swinger. You got people thinking she's into all this freaky shit. We don't know nothing about this woman. We know she did an interview where she said it was really hard to be with him, that he's really emotional.
Oh, wow. Times it can be hard and sad and difficult because Anton has a lot of different personalities, and so you have to be a certain type of woman to deal with. Anton is very emotional. He doesn't communicate effectively. I don't think that he has killed anybody before. I think he's capable. I've seen him angry before. He's just like a totally different person.
But we don't know anything about this woman, but that's what happens when you are closely associated to somebody who runs amok. Now, Anton Daniels is very, very popular on social media because he has multiple YouTube pages. He has 3 or 4 YouTube pages. I was able to find like 3 or 4. One's called Anton Daniels, one's called Room 9, one's called Millionaire Mindset. And basically what he does and what he told me that he does in person when I met him for the shooting of Let's Rant About It was that he just stays online 8 hours a day. It's a job, 8 to 9 hours. And yeah, you'd have to be able to stream that much. You'd have to be online 9 to 12 hours a day. Now, is it lucrative? Absolutely. But is it good for your mental health? And is this type of job field a good job for somebody who is streaming, that talks a lot, that doesn't really mean what they say, that's just trying to portray an image? No, let me tell you why. If you're a content creator that generates videos, that puts out and produces videos, you're able to chop those videos up. You're able to edit it. You're able to get your point across, and any type of like dead silence or mess ups you can cut out, right? If you've said too much, you can cut that out in post-production. But when you are a streamer, it's just 24/7. People are looking right at you. If you up, if you do what Anton and Corey did by screaming at one another, then you'll be able to see it. Nobody was able to cut that out. We saw it in real time. Then you got Mika. I don't know anything about this woman other than the fact that she's very pretty. But now she's being dragged all up and through the internet for being
Anton Daniels' side chick. I'd rather that would be my 13th reason.
Y'all can say whatever you want about me. Don't you dare say no shit like that. Now, what the did I do to deserve that title? Don't you dare. So now she's being called Anton Daniels' side chick. She's, I'm assuming, lost her job or quit her job. So now she's without a job. Everybody and their mama is saying that she is a disgusting, terrible, trifling wife to her husband. So now he's catching a stray if he really exists, because that's another theory that he doesn't even exist. Okay. And like I told you, again, she's another right-wing MAGA content creator. The grift is, I'm married. When I tell you I used to be around these relationship gurus that would be having the worst marriage in the world, shit that you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy, but they would get on that stage and be like, I'm married, because that's all people want to see is that you have that hardware. And so a lot of people now, which I'm very impressed with, a lot of people now are just lying. And I honestly, I agree with it. Instead of sitting up here and acting like, it really in love when your husband's miserable, you're treating him like shit, he's cheating, you're cheating, the kids in the house hope to God that you guys just divorce so that they can have one day of peace. Instead of doing that,
just lie. I've been married for like forever.
It's ridiculous. I'm going to shout out a lot of content creators because when I tell you these people have been on his ass, the footage. Roll that beautiful bin footage. So let's start off with the original grift, right? I'm a millionaire. I'm a very important businessman. A man by the name of Mike TV came out with an expose against Anton Daniels where he was talking about his past and the fact that Anton, claims to be a self-made millionaire, but the truth is
everything's a legend.
Allegedly, his father died in 2017 from a work-related accident. His name was Thaddeus, and the Daniels family went ahead and sued, and they won. So Anton was given a huge settlement, and a lot of people are calling him a trust fund baby, but that's not a trust fund. That's more like an accident baby. So allegedly, an anonymous caller called in and told Mike that basically Anton was trying to get some funding a long time ago, so this is how he has all this information. Because, of course, if anybody knows, if you try to get funding, you have to give them every single aspect of your life from everything. So he knows basically all Anton's tea. Of course, he's anonymous because then he would be called out and probably sued. I don't think you're supposed to tell people that.
I mean, when I say a lot of money, I messed up crazy bags.
Man, I always knew he was a fake guru. I always knew that his Patreon was a scheme. I always knew he was a fraud, but workplace fraud, ruining bags. I mean, we're going to get into those receipts in length, but guys, I've always had the question. Where did Antoinette get his coins? And you know what? I heard some rumors. I heard some rumors that Anton's father passed away. I heard some rumors that when Anton's father passed away, he passed away prematurely. He passed away during a workplace incident. And when he passed away, apparently, allegedly, there was a huge payout. There was a huge payout from the city of Detroit. There was a huge payout. And it seems that Anton Daniels is really just a middle-aged trust fund baby. I mean, the dates line up. The timeline lines up. Pops passes away in 2017. My father right now is going through a lawsuit with the city, so I know it takes years. So 2017, Daddy passes away. You guys go through some litigation with the city. There's a judgment paid out. There's monies awarded. And oh my gosh, now all of a sudden, Anton Daniels is richer than your favorite rapper.
So then they go on to talk about how Anton had a restaurant, but it failed, and how he talked about the restaurant being profitable, but he just had to let it go, in which Mike TV responds, you don't just let go of a profitable business. You sell a profitable business, but you don't just let it go. So the restaurant failed, right? So then he had to go on to his quote unquote new grift. Now, I thought the part about Rita was interesting because the anonymous funder basically said the reason why Rita is with Anton is because after Anton messed up all his credit and had all these failed businesses, they had to put everything in her name, which would make sense as to why, I'm not saying this is true, but I'm saying that would make sense as to why she's riding with them.
He said he's really fucking over his wife. He said Anton already ruined his own credit, so now he's using his wife to co-sign for everything. Damn.
Her credit as well, and I think he uses the fact that she's on the hook as a co-signer as a method to control her and or prevent her from leaving. Because
Say it ain't so. They go on to say that I think Anton uses Rita being a co-signer on all the loans as a method of control, as a method of keeping her from leaving.
Now, just hear me out, right? Even if you don't believe any of this, just hear me out. Let's just break down control. Because a lot of people are laughing at Mika. A lot of people are laughing at all these women that came out and said that they flew to Detroit or they smashed Anton for a small bag. And I understand that. A lot of people are laughing, oh, haha, at these girls. But the truth is, when men do this, yes, it's because they're tricks and they wouldn't be able to get these type of women or these caliber of women unless they had money. Yes, we already know that. But also, too, it's a means of control. I'm going to hire you. It's not just I'm flying out a baddie, we smash in the hotel, and then I fly her back. I only want to be with women that work under me. I'm going to make sure that you enjoy this lifestyle. I'm going to take you courtside. I'm going to take you overseas. I'm going to do these things with you. You're going to be so enamored with this lifestyle, plus the money that I'm giving you, right? I think they were saying that Mika only works about 16 hours, but she gets something $2,500 to $3,000 a month just for 16 hours of work. It's like, man, I really hit a lick and I don't want to leave this situation. So then you get to this point, women, please pay attention. You get to this point where you don't like the man, you're not sexually attracted to the man, you do not want to be with the man, but you do not want to leave the lifestyle. And now you've grown accustomed to the lifestyle or accustomed to the job, easy money. And so now you have to stick with somebody that you can't stand because of the life that they've given you. Now, if it's two grown adults, it's consensual, it is what it is, but this is a method of control, believe it or not.
Wow. Why would that prevent Rita from leaving the marriage?
if she ever left, you could simply default on the accounts and it would ruin her financially. Anyways.
Oh, because if he defaults on the accounts and she's attached to the accounts, then that would ruin her financially.
Yikes.
Damn, I always knew that him and Rita had a weird thing going on in their relation. I always knew that him and Rita had some strange dealings going on when this is how she speaks about her husband.
What is it like being married to Anton Daniels? Oh, Jesus. Wow. Times it can be hard and sad and difficult.
Hard, sad, and difficult. I can see somebody being like, we just had hard times. Like any other married couples, we go through ups and downs, but my man is really supportive. He really cares about me. He loves me. We have a great relationship. In fact, we're best friends. Yeah, that's what it's like. But of course we have our fights. She said right off the bat, what's it like? Hard, sad, and difficult?
Because Anton has a lot of different personalities, and so you have to be a certain type of woman to deal with him. Anton is very emotional. He doesn't communicate.
Anton is very emotional. Again, with these grifts. So when these men sit up here and say that you can't lead, a woman can't lead her own life, she's too emotional. Women are not logical. We've just now heard from his wife, and we saw that emotional argument between him and Corey. And it's like, yeah, when is enough enough? Do we have to keep on showing people proof, or how do we get it through people's thick skulls that is not the case? That this is a way, that this is a narrative that men, usually insecure men, push because they do not like women that ask questions. They do not like women that are assertive. They don't like women that say, hey, you know what? This feels like manipulation. Hey, you know, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't actually like this, and I'm going to stand up for myself. They don't like that type of woman. They call that type of woman masculine, while they maul over the weak women.
He doesn't communicate effectively. I don't think that he has killed anybody before. I think he's capable of it. I've seen him angry before. He's just like a totally different person. When he's angry, he blacks out.
If you look at her while she's saying that, right, she's rocking back and forth. She's very fidgety. Of course, that I don't know what type of interview that was. That's definitely his wife, but I don't know who was asking her those questions. She just seemed uncomfortable. So a lot of people have their own speculations, right? Like, oh, she's in it for financials, or she's a swinger. We'll get into that later. But what if she's scared? What if she can't go anywhere? What if? So Anton is going to sue Corey Holcomb, right? He's already said that they're in litigations and that he's going to handle him because Corey Holcomb came out and said that, you know, Anton's daughter was ugly. Anton said that his daughter was distraught. He had to pull out of school. She's underage, though she is 17 years old. She's underage and different things like that. Let's take a listen.
This man said he ain't got no children out of wedlock. Nigga.
That's Cool Mo daughter.
That's who?
Not Cool Mo D, Cool Mo daughter.
That's the air up there, nigga. Look, nigga, let me tell you something. Don't make no more kids, nigga. That gonna be buying pussy like you after a while. If you don't know, nigga, don't ever brag on no mother what you ain't got. Don't nobody want no kids with you, nigga.
So in the Tasha K interview, in my opinion, he was setting up his lawsuit. A lot of people are like, well, I don't understand. A lot of content creators are like, well, if he says he's going to sue him because his daughter's so distraught, why did he get on Tasha K and say that he's ready for the fight again? Why would you open up this can that left your daughter so, distraught? She was sick. She couldn't breathe. All this stuff that he said about his daughter and how her emotional state was. If that is the case, why would you get back on the internet and rehash or start up this fight again? Why would you do that? In my opinion, he was setting up his lawsuit. He wanted visuals. He wanted proof of my daughter was distraught. She was sick. That way he could take the clips, put it in the lawsuit and be like, I've even told people how distraught my daughter was. But shout out to Keisha, right? She's a content creator that has been
on this Negro's ass.
She breaks down the fact that this is what Anton said that his daughter's going through after the fight with Corey Holcomb. After the fight with Corey Holcomb is the reason we even know about his situation with Mika. So Corey kind of aired all that out, which is probably why Anton's pissed. Listen to what he tells Tasha K, and then listen to Lakeisha's perspective because, a lot of people were kind of dogging her on this video because she said that she has no empathy she said remorse, but she has no empathy for his daughter. But I just want to bring it all home with a point, right? When you are a traditional man, you cover your family. You cover your family. When they say provide and protect, it does not just mean if a robber or somebody comes into your home and acts as a threat, you stand in front and fight for your family. That doesn't just mean physical protection. Because you are online with this persona talking about fighting again and opening up these other cans and doing this and that, because you are doing that, your daughter is not covered and neither is your wife. And you're supposed to be this traditional conservative Christian MAGA man. Your wife and your daughter aren't covered.
You shouldn't have got into a beef with a comedian. What the does that mean? That mean you can go and put my underage daughter on the internet and say some wild shit about it? Now she's dealing with the shit in school. I had to pull her out of school. Real talk. I had to pull her out of school. She going through it. Straight up going through it.
I know she is. I have a 19-year-old.
It's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? It's really unfortunate. And so
she's going through it. I guess we're going to blame Corey, but who takes the blame for this?
Hey, hold on, no.
Back up.
No. We don't have to do nothing. We don't have to do nothing. We don't have to do anything. She's worthless. She's nothing. She's nothing but a vapor, right? At any moment, listen, if she was gone tomorrow, nobody would ask questions as to where she was. Nobody will miss you. Please. Nobody will put you on a t-shirt.
So I guess that is excusable. So this mother that he dragged, her and her kids, telling her daughter is going to be on the streets, basically telling the woman her daughter going to be a child, and that her sons are going to be in prison making license plates. I guess that's acceptable, right?
I mean, when I saw him put your baby picture, I said, see, he gonna fuck with people's kids. Nigga, fuck with your own kids.
And here's my thing. I mean, I don't know Tasha personally, but I do feel like she has a lot of talent, but I believe it goes out the window when she starts to deal with her own trauma. I get it. You don't like Corey, but if you're going to do an interview, be fair in your interview. Are you telling me you didn't know that Anton be talking about people's kids and dragging them and saying all of these things? I didn't know either, but I do read the comments and they had to tell me, and then they continue to send me videos. So I don't understand why, if Tasha is going to interview Anton, that she doesn't say, well, why is it that you do it? So and here's the deal. What Corey did and what he did are two totally different things, because Corey made jokes. He never identified your daughter by name. He just pretty much made jokes. You clearly said these kids should be in prison, and you called a child a hoe.
So some people were upset with Lakeisha for saying, I don't feel bad for, Anton's daughter, because he says all this about Black women. He's constantly talking about the degenerates, the hood people. Blacks are this and blacks are that. We've seen that even with the fight between Corey and Anton, him saying you suck the D of blacks, after Corey saying, well, you kiss the ass of white men. So Anton wants to position himself, right, as above the Black community, and your kids are going to be nothing but streetwalkers and in prison, your sons, and different things like that. But the only reason why allegedly you're even where you are is because your dad had to pass away, unfortunately, tragically. Your father had to pass away, and you received a big amount of money in which you invested in spending all damn day long online. Let me read you some of the comments of people and what they said to Lakeisha, right? You don't have any remorse for Anton's daughter because of him. She's not doing anything. That's a weird thing to say. If I didn't know any better, I would think Anton did something to you personally. He's wrong about a lot, but he's not wrong about defending his daughter. CH mentioned her in a sexual light, and he's wrong for that. The lead attorney broke that down. Even though I do not rock with Anton, I still support the lawsuit. The lawsuit's not even a real thing. It's not about supporting the lawsuit. It's about the fact that this is how you change the narrative, right? Let's break down something, right? This is my pointer. What we're dealing with is a liar and a manipulator, a MAGA grifter. You guys see that? A liar and a manipulator. So what a liar and a manipulator does is he's going to set things up. And so if you're not paying attention, see this? It'll go right over your head. He's not defending his daughter. If he was defending a Black girl, if he was defending dark-skinned women, if he was defending women, period, right, for his daughter, because he knows he has a presence and he knows that children are a target, mothers are a target, spouses are a target, he would watch what he says online. He is flagrant in all of his insults against Black women all the time. He has no problem calling a Black woman a whore, a piece of shit, trash, saying that her kids need to be thrown out the window and different things like that. But now it's, I'm defending my daughter. He's not defending anybody. If he was defending his daughter, he would have covered her. He would have covered her. If he was defending his wife, he would have covered her. Yet he left them uncovered. People start to not care about what happens to your children. Again, you're not covering them.
We don't have to do nothing. We don't have to do anything. She's worthless. She's nothing. She's nothing but a vapor, right? At any moment, listen, if she was gone tomorrow, nobody would ask questions as to where she was. Nobody will miss you.
So speaking of not covering your wife, a lot of these clips have been coming out of Anton, bragging about the fleet of women that he gets and about how he is always in some coochie and he's doing all this and he keeps a bad chick with him, which is what Corey was saying. You brought your bitch to my podcast thinking you was gonna get her on, and I said no. So it seems to me that he was talking about Mika and he thought that bringing Mika to this podcast was gonna get her a little clout. The thing about it is that's not really how clout works, and I don't know why you guys don't understand that. Clout is a lot of eyes on you, but retention is what you want for money, for opportunities, to say that you are someone. Retention is what you want, right? So just because a lot of eyes are on you for that moment doesn't mean that you're gonna retain the audience. Once I see you and say, oh, that's the girl he's sleeping with, anyway, I'm gonna go about my day and it's not even gonna matter. So Mika comes out, and if you don't know who Mika is, apparently she's a right-wing podcaster and she's been on these panels with Corey. I don't know how much he pays them people to just sit there and hear him brag about having sex with people. I don't know how much he pays them for that, but seems like a good job if he's paying and all I gotta do is listen to you lie. I guess I at least need 5 on it. I need 5K.
You know what I'm saying? I know that in order for me to be able to tell other people that they got to move a certain type of way or to give them the blueprint on how it is that they can be successfully married, I have to be a reflection of the thing that I advocate for. So it's different from me. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't mean that I don't love beautiful women around me. It don't mean that I'm not going to have, that I don't check out chicks or whatever, so on and so forth or whatever. I just don't believe that A, they not worth my time. B, they ain't even close to the quality of the woman that I have. C, I also want to be the man that I would love for my daughter to marry. And then D, I have a higher expectation on my life, and I esteem myself greater than what normal people would esteem themselves.
So shout out to the creator, Confidence Corner. He broke a lot of this down.
Let's get to it, because I know you didn't sell your wife this dream when y'all first met, that y'all would be broke together in that small apartment, then she'd have your daughter, and then, or if you made it, you would be allowed to have multiple women. I know that wasn't the agreement, and it's one thing to do it and she doesn't know, or maybe she does know, but y'all keep it low key. You know the saying, boys will be boys, but it's another thing to brag about it on the internet. That's embarrassing.
Oh man, you got to see this, what they said about you. Oh man, dog, do you know that I'm laid up in some pussy right now? I'm over here trying to get some head.
This the family man. This the conservative MAGA Christian that talks down on black men and women.
You talk about money in box like you've never had it before, and it's because you haven't. The truth is, at 40-something, you're still childish, and you lack the discipline. Money and fame brings women. Thanks, Captain Obvious, but you showed us that this is your first time getting this kind of attention. We can tell, which is why you're chasing ass. Meanwhile, you're fat and out of shape.
He said he want to look like me. He said he want to look like me, and that's a tall order, baby.
I got to chase him.
That's a tall order, and I'd love to see you. I don't know if you're going to catch me, bro, but I'd love to see you try.
You look dusty, and you could use a gym membership if you got time.
I hope my haters stay low key. My haters, they try to pop out and I'll be like, what's up? And then they slither back in whatever butthole they crawled out of. Anton, I'm not gonna call them haters because they're telling the truth. They have all the receipts, so I'm not gonna call them haters. Anton's critics, they don't come to play.
Lifetime, and I got guest passes if you need it. But if you got time to chase ass, you got time to get in the gym and do something positive, because your need to look cool on the internet has you violating and embarrassing the one person that has been there for you the whole time.
This is a married man. He's talking about getting PUSSY and getting head like he's single. First of all, it's not something that a single man should brag about at his age, but a married man, this dude is cringy. And here's another thing, guys. He talked about his daughter. His daughter, a 17-year-old, and he's on the internet talking about getting PUSSY and getting his things. Like, how appropriate is that? Like, how is that appropriate? You have a 17-year-old daughter who knows that you're married to her mother, and this is the commentary that you're giving. This nigga is weird.
And see, that's the thing. It's like, I got to protect her. I got to cover her. Well, you're not. Even if you and your wife have this agreement going on, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow. And a lot of people don't understand what they do to their children until they grow up. They're told that their kids are going no contact with them and they don't want shit to do with them after their kids have been through years of therapy. But nobody wants to see their mother treated like that, even if they were swingers and everything else.
He's a weirdo.
I believe that if people got more pussy, they wouldn't be so mad at the hoes, bro. Sent these so you ready for your next podcast from Kimmy. What's up, Kim? What you done sent me? What's going on here? I'm getting to the studio and I got gifts on gifts on gifts. So I know a lot of these niggas is backed up. Because you can't be that mad all the time. You can't be that mad all the time. Only Kim would do something like this. I'm telling you, the women take care of me.
Hello, sir.
I'm on a live stream. I just got your gift.
Let me just explain something to you guys real quick. Let's pull this out again. When a man doesn't get any women, right? He's not conventionally attractive. He doesn't have any money. He's overweight, which is not my saying. This is his saying. He's overweight. A woman would walk past him and not look twice, right? His hair is receding, all this stuff. A woman would not look twice at him. Men know that type of man knows that he needs money. Money for that type of man attracts weak, desperate, lost women. Weak, desperate, lost women. And weak, desperate, and lost women just want you to look at them. They want to be a part of the roster. I don't care if you have a wife. I don't care if you have multiple side chicks. I'm going to outdo all those women. I'll send you gifts. I'll bounce it back. I'll really throw some power in that horse when I bounce it back so that I can be picked. Just choose me. Hear me out. You're begging to be chosen by somebody that no one chooses. Oh my God, we gotta do better. At first they didn't want me, now I'm hot. They all on me. You need to pay. So let's go into your trick and why you should never fall in love with your trick. Do I believe that Mika is a terrible person? No, but do I believe that she's a side to something? Mm-hmm. Now this is a creator by the name of House of Hypocrites. I love that name.
I did not think of that name first.
And Lakeisha, again, another creator that I'm fond of, Lakeisha is reacting to his video where he breaks down the Mika situation. Why does everybody think Mika's a side chick? Well, for one, she's on his panel. And as you can see, the panels are virtual and a lot of people are on them. And he switches them out apparently weekly. I don't watch it. But on this particular panel, after the situation with Corey, Mika had, was in his hotel room. And you can hear the people on the panel saying, it looked like you just got y'all really did something with each other. So this part was edited out, allegedly edited out on Anton's page, but they were able to screen record it prior to him editing this part out. And it just shows, them in the same hotel room together.
A door closed, and it almost looks like Mika has to be in that room. She has to be in that room. So it is left to imagine, why is she showering in his room if she's not staying there? Something weird is going on. And why did Anton edit this out of his original video?
I'm reading the nigga lips. No, did he? And he's saying, are you ready? Are you ready? Then she's gonna jump on the fucking camera to try to say, hey, I just got up. I just came from up. No, the fuck you didn't. You been there.
So what he is saying is, Anton, which he deleted this part out, he was asking her, is she ready? But again, this is the only video we have because Anton he didn't delete it. He edited the video.
And I just came upstairs. And I just came upstairs. They're braided, right?
Nigga, I don't give a nigga. Nigga, my haircut, if my barber ain't talking to me, my hair could be 25 minutes.
That's because they be talking. Them beauticians be chit-chatting.
Hell yeah, them niggas.
So as you can see, he's talking to somebody. Who the hell is he talking to?
So this is like 3 a.m. in a hotel room, right? And so Mika is saying that she's with him on a work trip. He flew her out to Detroit to be on a work trip. They went to a game. She sat with them courtside, and people, of course, was calling him out. Why are you in a hotel at 3 a.m. with your boss on a work trip, sitting courtside, and he talking about me and Mika be eating good, we be doing this and that? What is going on?
Mika appeared and said, I just came upstairs. Why is she not in her own room?
That's why my hair can be an hour sometimes. I'm like, nigga, shut up.
Nah, listen, I'm from goddamn me.
So the background noise that you guys hear is from the entire panel. So if you guys are wondering what's that noise, because you're hearing the panel, Anton muted himself, he probably thought he was still off of camera, but he wasn't.
Listen, I'm from goddamn me.
At that particular time, he's saying, "That's cool. You ready?" Right? Meaning she been in the nigga room. She been so why jump on camera and say, "I just came upstairs"? You been in the room for an hour. You probably been in the room since he got there because y'all probably only got one room. If I was her husband,
that part, y'all probably only got one room. What? Why is this woman in this man's room? I would feel so, no, I wouldn't feel because I wouldn't be there. Why are you in a room of a married man? His wife is nowhere in the vicinity.
they both look inebriated. And when Anton Daniels was goddamn pausing and muting and I guess when Anton was disabling his camera, I'm like, shit. The further they got along, it seemed like he getting a little bit more looser. Maybe they were drinking off camera. You feel me? And it's just speculation. Speculation. Out of all the times this woman she got curly hair, right? Big curls. Every time she ever came on camera, her shit ain't all fucked up like that.
Oh, Father God.
I don't know what is given because why the hell are you in his room? But just pay attention, y'all, because this entire video gets weird as F-U-C-K.
The nigga Anton was prepared to jump in the mother shower while she was on screen.
No.
Okay, he got his own platform going. He got his own thing going. So it should be
okay.
This man is in the back of her brushing his teeth, getting ready for bed because they're about to go to bed, allegedly.
Y'all see Anton walking in the back, brushing his teeth. All of this has been edited out. Anton brushing his teeth because he's preparing to put his pajamas on or however he sleep.
And I just want to know how much you got for that. Like, I know that they were saying they were talking about his payment, right? And how she only has to get on his live on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So because it's only about 16 hours, she gets almost $3,000 a month. Sounds like a good deal, but I come on, you laying down and you about to get naked? Bro, you about to get naked? I don't want to see it. Oh my God, I don't want to smell it. So during this panel, they're talking about the whole Corey Holcomb situation, right? Mika, how did you feel? You were there. Why did Corey call you a B? Are you okay? And all this stuff. So she's talking about it, you know.
You know, it would be a whole problem, but this is a hoe out here being a hoe.
As Anton's representation.
Thank you.
We want to say that we went to the 5150 program to have an educated conversation. The conversation.
Let me say this also. Mika stayed in pocket. She followed my lead. She ain't do.
Mika stayed in pocket. She followed my lead.
And this is how these type of men act, right? So I just need you guys to see the hypocrisy. I need you to see the grift, but I also need you to just see the subtleties, right? She stayed in pocket. She followed my lead because I'm a leader, because I'm a man. When we talk about a man leading, when we talk about submitting to a man, we're talking about submitting to a godly man. This is not a man who sit around, I get pussy, I get gifts, I be in there, I be all up in it, yeah. I keep a bad one around me, Mika gorgeous, anybody but your wife. I haven't not once heard him talk about his wife, like the way that he talks about these women. So when you're submitting to a man, please, I beg, let it be a godly man you're submitting to and not a man that's gonna have you out here uncovered and looking crazy.
She ain't tripped. She just said, yo, I'm rolling with you, and that's the end of the conversation.
This is some shit. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. That's some shit. Now, Tasha K went ahead and interviewed Mika. It's like they were both being interviewed, and Mika wants to clear her name. She's been going on several interviews saying, no, we didn't sleep together, I promise, even though people have been grilling her, right? There's a channel called Talk Perspective. Apparently, that's one of Mika's ex-co-workers, but he decided to interview her, and he was just basically saying, like, how as a married woman are you carrying yourself like that? Where she was like, nothing happened. I mean, we just cool. Like, nothing happened. So then he asked her, well, are you still gonna be on, Anton's show or on Anton's payroll? And she's like, no, I don't think so anymore. So now, not only are you being dragged, not only does no one know your name other than the fact that you possibly slept with Anton for less than $5,000 or less than $10,000. Please! If it's a man that you can barely stomach to look at, $20K and up. I'm not saying I sell it, but if you're gonna sell it right. $20K and up. That ain't made no sense. $3,000 a month? That's slave wages.
Let me ask you a question. If you were ugly, do you think Anton would have leveraged this platform with you?
I really can't get into what I think Anton would have done, honestly, but you know, I'm not unaware that, you know, I'm attractive or that people find me attractive, but what I know to be true is that I'm a very serious person when it comes to work. And so I'm a very hard worker. I give, you know, a lot of attention to detail. And if I work with somebody, they're going to see my value.
Yeah, he saw your value, mama.
So have you ever been married before?
Yes, I'm married now.
How long have you been married?
I've been married pretty much all my life.
Your husband approves of your work relationship with Anton?
Yes, my husband knows of every work relationship that I have, period.
Is your husband on your IG?
No. My IG is strictly for business. I don't put my personal life on my IG.
But then she posted Anton. I guess that's her boss. And somebody made a good point. You know, you're saying like this is business. Anton's never needed you for business. Seems like he has an assistant. When I met Anton in person, like I told you guys, I saw Rita and Rita was carrying around his clothes, even though there was a clothes rack. She didn't want to hang it up. She was going to carry around his clothes. It seemed to me like Rita's like an assistant type, right? And so just like Mika said, Rita's the one that, you know, books her flights and different things like that, which is why people are like, well, is she a swinger? Like, is she okay with this? What I think is Rita's getting to the money. I hope Rita's got a little nest egg and she's just ready to, whenever it's time to dip, she's gonna dip. That's what I hope, but I'm not really sure. But Rita's the one that's booking the flights and different things like that. So you're not booking flights. You're not his representation. You're not his manager. You are somebody he flew out. He brags about you being sexy. He flirts with you. He says you're gorgeous. He says he's always in that pee and doing this and that.
This is the first time that I've seen a dynamic like this. And now you guys are doing business trips together. Your husband is nowhere near.
We do not do business trips together.
You said you guys met up and he was in town for a basketball game.
No, what I said, no ma'am. What I said was I went to Detroit. You said taking business trips together.
Is that not a business trip?
No. You said we took business trips together and we never took.
Did you go to Detroit to see him for business?
I went to Detroit. Correct.
Okay, so that is, and then you guys went to a Detroit basketball game and sat courtside.
That's why I said earlier, like, do you like the controversy? Like,
yeah, it's great marketing. It's phenomenal marketing.
Yeah. Okay. So
you are phenomenal marketing. You know how much more valuable I become when I bring Mika with me to places. Man, you wouldn't believe the amount of doors that I get in as a result of it.
I'm just a chameleon.
Has Anton ever flirted with you?
Flirted with me as a sense of what? Just naturally, like we're sitting here, or because I'm gonna explain.
Well, I don't want to get into wordsmithing.
No.
So let me hear a few of the multiple things that he said that was a flirt.
Probably if he's like, "Oh, Mika, you're so sweet," or
you're such a sweet spirit.
Thank you.
Sweet spirited person.
Anton Daniels. Anton Daniels.
I appreciate you, Mika.
I appreciate you.
When you talk, and you got niggas like me dissecting every word. This might be the issue with content creators creating a lot of content, because they may forget things that happen.
That's a mess. That's the House of Hypocrites page I was talking to you about. So then, people started digging up. Well, I mean, if he's sleeping with Mika, who else is he sleeping with? Apparently, there was another woman on his panel that she did not play that. Like I said, asking too much questions, want to know what we doing and why, how much I'm going to get paid, what is this? Yeah, that does not turn men who use their financial means as a way, and job opportunities as a way of control. That does not turn men like that on, right? They want to see if they can get you, but when they know that they can't, they just leave you alone, which is why I'm not going. I am step on a nigga. Nah, no, not on my watch. No. And I don't even smile. I don't even want people to think I'm flirting with them. Sometimes when you're nice, men think you're flirting. I keep a mean mug.
You know what my biggest problem is? Turning down you funky hoes. Y'all reach out on a regular. No. Let's get to no.
I got a fleet of hoes right now that will come and finesse you out of your socks, nigga.
I got a fleet of hoes, But this is what your daughter is looking at. So maybe your daughter will think, well, I guess my man should have a fleet of hoes. Because this is how conservative Christian MAGA men protect and cover their family.
But I'll keep it a buck. You know what? I'll keep it a buck with y'all. Anton definitely asked me to come to Detroit before.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
You ain't got no
listen. I'm gonna be for real. No.
You ain't got no hoe. I like her.
Okay, let's not tie me to him in that way by any means, shape, or form. Okay? Like there's no connection there. All right, let's not do that.
I know that's right.
Let's not do that. I don't like
we can
that.
Take a lot of takers.
I was just a guest, and that's it. That's it. Never. Ever. But I'll keep it a buck. You know what? I'll keep it a buck with y'all. Anton definitely asked me to come to Detroit before. He definitely DM'd me on that one day. And mind you, this was several shows after I had been on his panel. Right? And when he asked me, when you come into the D, I said, for what?
Right.
What's in Detroit?
Right.
And he said, you know, you'll just have to trust me. It'll be fun. And I'm, nah, fun in Detroit. I ain't never heard of that. Never heard of that. Well, you'll just have to trust me. What difference does it make, right? He's talking to me. He's not giving me any. Now, if he's DMing me like this, somebody that he has gotten into it multiple times with, right?
Hold on, let's get to no.
If he's DMing me with this pimp talk, because that's exactly what it sounded like. You just got to trust me. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. And I said, for what? What do you ask me? What are you asking me to come to Detroit to do? Right? Well, what difference does it make? You'll just have to trust me. I said, it makes all the difference. I need details.
Right. And contracts.
And you know what he said to me? Just let me know when you're ready. Because you'll just have to trust me. Never spoke to him about it again.
Right.
And it never played out. Why? Because I'm asking too many questions. I'm not excited because you DMing me asking to bring me to Detroit for what, nigga? And this was like fresh off of the conversation that he had about having women that he worked with or are friends with, how they pussy got to be on the table for him. My pussy ain't never on the table. And you're not gonna parade me around like, you know what I'm saying? Like Mika, like Molly, like Q, or whatever the case may be.
Now you see how all those women caught astray? Like Molly, like Mika, like now all them women that popped it for some pocket change caught astray. Listen, I hope you got a lot from this, you guys. There's just so much more. We might have to do a part 2. Listen to what people are saying and then listen to what they are saying beyond their words, right? I think Anton said that Corey was dirty macking. I had to look up the definition of dirty macking. Dirty macking is a slang term referring to the act of disrespectfully pursuing, flirting with, or attempting to steal someone's romantic partner. It involves interfering in an established relationship, often with deceitful or underhanded methods. So he was like, Corey's trying to dirty mac me with Mika. Dirty mac with Mika? Not Rita, your wife? Mika? Come on, y'all. Please, let me read you guys some of the comments. Anton definitely smashing, but he's also definitely tricking. That's obvious. Money can't unlame a lame. He actually think he's him while tricking. Right, that's crazy. That is crazy. Straight up embarrass his wife to feed his ego. That's what insecure men do. She doesn't respect her husband. Can't be. If he's even around, can't be. When you're married, you're representing your partner when in the public. Absolutely. So much for being a Christian conservative. Yeah, so much for that, right? That's why we let people talk. No married woman who's not cheating would ever go into another man's hotel room at 2 a.m. I agree. At 14 minutes, Anton speaks about man code, but never spoke or met with Mecca's husband. Probably the same for all the married people on his panels. Funny how Anton wants to keep his wife hidden, but doesn't care about being seen with a fine light-skinned woman. And speaking of light-skin, I definitely do believe that Tasha, now I did see one of Tasha K's live where she was like, she thinks Anton tricked her. She was really tired tired because she had a lot of interviews that day, because I was wondering why Tasha didn't go really hard on him. But I also do understand, like Lakeisha was saying, about our own traumas. Tasha K is, even though she is beautiful, she is a dark-skinned woman. So naturally, when she saw Corey Holcomb do that and pull that bullshit where he completely and totally went out of line and disrespected his daughter by calling her like ugly, presumably because she's a child and she's dark-skinned. And I feel like it might have made her like laser focused on, let's talk about this nigga Corey, and not the fact that you're sitting next to a hypocrite, next to somebody who does not practice what he preaches. I added another one, as you can see. 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning is scary. That's scary. What type of job is that? I wish all the women the best. I really wish that women would understand that you can't get to your own bag without having to subject yourself to be laying under somebody that you would not otherwise lay under. Do not let him trick you out your spot. Please understand manipulation and what people do when they want to use money and opportunities to dangle it in front of you and take it away if you don't do what they want you to do. Please understand that those things are very real. In this political climate, we don't need to take any chances. We don't need any Christian conservative MAGA men that say nigga and pussy every second, brag about dirty macking and cheating on their wives. We don't need this type of person to grow and then get in office. Absolutely not on my watch. Speaking of that, Stephen A., I'm on your ass. He talking about he might run for president. Nigga, I'm gonna make sure this nigga don't walk for president. Absolutely not. If you enjoyed this episode, if you got the point, say message received. If you enjoyed this episode, please support the channel by going down to ketosaid.com, picking up my Growing Through It journal or my Balancing My Bullshit planner, because this is some bullshit and it needs balancing. Let me know your thoughts. I'll meet you down in the comments, and until next time, it's DoorDashing can't be that bad. Like I don't know.